What is happening, guys? We're back. It's ya boys. Another episode of your favorite show, The Real Rendezvous. We're back.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on, everybody?
How's it? How's everyone doing today? Everyone feeling okay?
Don't everybody talk at once.
Guys, come on. The show thrives on audience interaction. We really need you here.
You need to do like the crowd applause, like sound effect. Yeah, there it is. I'm doing good, Brett. You doing all right?
I'm doing good. I've been doing all right. It's been a good. How long has it been since the last episode?
I don't know, like
2 weeks.
Nah, closer to a month.
No, you can check.
I think it has been actually. I think it was like April 2nd, maybe.
Oh man,
we don't. Once again, no good excuse for the long hiatus other than shit happens, guys. April 11th. Okay, so not too.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was
3 weeks.
Yeah,
3.5.
And it's been a good 3 weeks.
Yeah, we just we had stuff to do. We got a lot to talk about today. We'll try and get through it all. We also went to the movies today, and we will be bringing to you, hot off the press, a review for the movie Boy Kills World, starring Bill Skarsgård. Prior to that, though, we'll do our typical ramblings and whatnot. Brett, I mean, I'm doing pretty good myself. I just had to get on the podcast and let everybody know I mowed my grass today and weed eated, and it was enthralling. I was super excited about it. So,
you proud?
Yes.
I've been going to the gym lately.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. I've been hitting the gym.
You look toned up, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Look, you're almost to Bill Skarsgård physique. Dude has the most insane physique I've ever seen.
Slowly but surely, I'm getting there.
Yeah. What do you want to start with today, Brett? I think our biggest news might be Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, it's definitely the new Deadpool trailer.
So you take off with it. You go first.
Ooh, me. Okay, so Deadpool and Wolverine, also known as Deadpool 3. I call it Deadpool 3 still. I'm gonna rip that Band-Aid off. I'm probably gonna call it Deadpool 3.
Why are you hanging your hat on that?
Well, it's just because, like, I don't know, man, because that's just what it was for so long. I don't hate the title Deadpool and Wolverine. It makes sense. Like, that's what the movie is.
I think it's kind of funny, like quippy, not quippy, but like funny buddy cop vibes.
I was really, when potential titles were like getting leaked and rumored, one of them was Deadpool and Friend. And I thought that was really funny.
That would be good.
I would have liked that one a lot. But I don't know. It's a weird hill to die on, but it's just easier to say. It's shorter. It's Deadpool 3.
Deadpool and Wolverine is a mouthful. It's a lot.
Like, that's so many syllables.
I know. That's insane.
And then what if they make a sequel? Deadpool and Wolverine 2.
Deadpool and Wolverine again.
Yeah.
That's also too much.
That goes kind of hard.
Yeah, it's kind of
I'd be okay with Deadpool and Wolverine again.
It's a silly title.
Anyway, so they did the first trailer, and they titled the first one a teaser trailer. They were like Deadpool and Wolverine official teaser trailer, but it was like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, longest teaser trailer of all time.
Yeah, so it was just a regular trailer, but it was mostly focused on the Deadpool side of things. Wolverine only showed up in that first trailer at the very end as a silhouette. Mm-hmm. Well, with this new one, they went all in on the Wolverine, and we get to see him in all his glory, and God damn, is it glorious.
Yeah, he was great, man. I love seeing Hugh Jackman back.
Dude, and that suit.
Yeah, it looks great.
So
man.
good.
It looks awesome. The suit does the suit thing in this trailer.
It does.
For sure.
It does. I do have a nitpick
about the suit.
I do have a nitpick
I know
about
where
the
you're
suit.
going with it.
Yes.
We've talked about this.
And I was afraid that I was going to be alone in that when I had the thought, no. All over the Twitter is like up in arms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over this little detail. I'm not that mad about it. I think he looked great still. Mm-hmm. For those of you who may not have pinned it down yet, they took off so they got rid of the sleeves, which is like when the suit got revealed, everyone was like, "Oh man, that's amazing. Why does he have sleeves?"
Yeah.
And there were reports that the suit had sleeves because Hugh Jackman is at higher risk of skin cancer. I don't know if that's true. Not that I don't know if it's true that he's at higher risk of skin cancer. That could be true all at once. I just meant, like, I don't know if that's like played into it at all.
Yeah.
But apparently it doesn't matter because they got rid of the sleeves.
Yeah.
But in doing so, in getting rid of the sleeves, they also took the shoulder pads off, and it just looks kind of funky without them because the upper torso of the suit is so bulky that like without the shoulder pads to like round out that silhouette up top, it just like drops into his shoulder.
I think it still looks pretty badass.
Oh, no. It still looks great. I'm glad they did it at all. Like I said, complete nitpick. It does not matter at all.
I want to know if at some point they're gonna break out the mask. They have to, right?
We know it's, dude. That's a big topic too. We know it's there. Yeah. There's official merch all over the place that he's got the mask on. Yeah. Literally everything but the trailers and the stills that they've been releasing, he has the mask on. The Funko Pop, he's got the mask. All the T-shirts and stuff they're releasing, he's got the mask. I put up a tweet today, and I was like, guys, maybe the mask is completely CGI, and he actually wears it the whole movie, but they took it out of all the screenshots and trailers so that we would be surprised.
Yeah.
Which is obviously not true. What happened is that they're paying Hugh Jackman money.
So that you're going to see Hugh Jackman's
So they're going to show Hugh Jackman's face, which is, the mask problem is something that permeates all superhero media. It doesn't matter what company. It doesn't matter, what character.
Yeah.
The mask problem has been a huge debate for forever. And ironically, Deadpool is one of the only characters that like hasn't seemed to suffer from that as much.
Yeah, it's because he's ugly without the mask.
Yeah.
So I love my Wade Wilson in all his cancerous glory, but he is ugly.
But the trailer's great. There's not much to like talk about the trailer specifically. It was just Wolverine doing cool Wolverine shit.
Yeah, we see some ass kickery. We see Hugh Jackman being gruff. Does he say a bub in there? I thought maybe there was a bub somewhere in there.
I think he calls Wolverine Bub.
I can't remember.
I think he calls Deadpool Bub when like he first shows up at the bar.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that this relationship that they're trying to establish is as intrinsic and real as what they're making it seem.
My only gripe, and it's not really a gripe because we don't know yet, obviously, because the movie's not out. But like, I don't think they're gonna keep Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm sure he'll show up in crossovers after this, right? Well, like Secret Wars and whatever. But I don't think he's gonna be the Wolverine going forward.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a multiverse type thing here. Yeah. So they're probably going to introduce another universe's Wolverine as the one moving forward.
But then but then they're setting up this rapport with Deadpool and Wolverine, and like we're gonna want more of that.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're gonna get it. I think this might be like, if we did get a Deadpool and Wolverine again, I don't know if it would be Hugh Jackman.
It'd probably be the next guy.
It would be the next guy. But
and nobody knows who it is yet.
But that's all hearsay. That's in the realm of speculation.
Yeah. So in general, though, badass trailer.
Oh yeah, and it needs to be the last one. Don't make another trailer.
Yeah.
That's it. We got a bunch of good Deadpool footage. Got a bunch of good Wolverine footage. Movie comes out in July.
Yeah.
Just let it ride from here.
Gave us plenty to go off of. We don't need anything else to spoil anything. We're pleased where we're at. To keep it par with the X-Men universe, you wanted to talk about X-Men 97 a little bit. I've only seen the total disclaimer. I've only seen the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97. I like it so far. Just haven't gotten a chance to watch the whole thing. You've watched the whole thing.
Yes, I have. Guys, X-Men 97 is so fucking good. Listen, I made a tweet about this too. I was on a tweet rampage the other night. Just like getting like all my thoughts out that I had been holding in over the past few weeks.
You was going ham with it.
I was. Follow me on Twitter at Breet. Link in the description if you're watching on YouTube.
That's Breet Prokeet. You kind of spat that out relatively quick. Anyways, why is it so good?
Oh, well, it's just like, it's the characters. It's always the characters. For me personally, when something is good, 99.9% of the time it's because the characters are well written and interesting. And X-Men 97 does a great job of that. Full disclosure, I didn't watch the original X-Men cartoon that this is a direct continuation of.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't watch the 90s show.
I watched it in passing some when I was young, but I wasn't like, I watched a ton of it. I watched every episode or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I'm going to start it. I want to watch it now because X-Men 97 was so good that now I want to go back and, you know, experience everything from before this point. That being said, you absolutely do not have to.
Yeah.
X-Men 97 is a continuation of that original show in like, that it's just like the same characters and like chronologically, but like nothing so far has like, I don't think it's harkened back, like not in a way that's like, oh, what are they talking about here?
Yeah.
Like it's very self-contained.
Yeah.
But everything about it's just so great, man. The like, again, the writing is where it's like just top notch, but like the animation is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was very apprehensive.
I was about to say, I thought you were skeptical in that first episode.
I was very apprehensive of the art style originally because it looked like in all the trailers, it really looked like they were doing like CG models that they had then drawn over in 2D and like rotoscoped.
I think those were your exact words.
Yeah. and there's like a very specific screen, and I stand by that. Like a few of the like early footage that they came out, like they all look like Fortnite skins. Like, I don't know how many of you guys play Fortnite, but like when they do cartoon characters in Fortnite, that's exactly what it is. It's a 3D model, but it's like got shaders on it to make it look from like every angle like it's like a 2D plane. And they look great, but that's what all of those characters look like to me in like a bunch of the screenshots and action sequences. But I don't know if either like I was just wrong, they updated it, or it grew on me. Either way, though, show looks phenomenal.
Maybe a combination of all three.
Maybe, like, but it is gorgeous. It's fluent, but also like retains a lot of that like 90s charm. It's basically just a cleaned up version of the original 90s art style, really, with like modern techniques and stuff.
Right.
But no, just a great show. You should definitely check it out. Season 1 is completed. It's all out now, which again, another nitpick. It doesn't matter at all. The final episode of season 1 is titled like the episode title and then part 1, right?
Ooh, are they trying to like leave you on a cliffhanger then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not really though. It actually is like we want to see what happens next, but it actually is like if they didn't get a season 2, like
it's still self-contained.
It could stop there. Yeah, like it wouldn't be like super satisfying, but like it's an ending.
I got you.
But I just thought that was funny.
And it's 8 episodes, right?
Yes.
8 episodes.
Yeah, but I just thought that was funny because then season 2, episode 1 is going to be part 2 of that last episode.
And who knows when season 2 will come out? I mean, I'm sure it'll probably get pumped out relatively quick.
You would think, but we're still waiting on Moon Knight, man.
You're waiting by yourself, buddy. I'm just kidding. Moon Knight wasn't bad. Moon Knight wasn't bad.
Don't let Kaylee hear you say that. Kaylee's a Moon Knight fanatic.
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, Moon Knight wasn't too bad. It was all right. Yeah, it's on my list of stuff I need to catch up on. I can't wait to watch it. I might watch it, try and get it knocked out this weekend.
Yeah, because and it's another good thing about it is it's short episodes, 20 minutes,
right.
20-minute episodes, which is exactly how long an episode of an animated TV show should be.
Well, back in the day, episodes of shows were that long because they had to factor in, like they had a 30-minute time slot, but they had to factor in commercials.
I like old cartoons that are 20-minute episodes, but it's actually two
episodes,
2 10-minute episodes.
Yeah.
I always thought that was fun.
Well, that's just like your young mind just being used to short explosions of content being thrown at you, like TikTok. But anyways, I'll quit shaking my fist at the cloud.
Yeah. Old man yells at cloud.
So I'll take the lead here for a second.
Yeah.
You got to talk about a show that you watched and enjoyed. I'm going to talk about one that I watched and enjoyed a lot, and I was never really into any of the content previously in this franchise. The new Fallout show on Amazon Prime is awesome. It also has 8 episodes. They're an hour long each, though. But it stars Walton Goggins, Ella Purnell, and the other guy's name escapes me currently. But basically, it follows 3 leads, and the movie the TV series is awesome. All the
8 movies.
Yeah,
that
all
make
8
up
movies.
Fallout.
Yeah, because they're a fucking hour long. The series is great. I never have played any of the Fallout games. I've always been interested in them, though, and it's kind of surprising I haven't played.
Yeah, right.
Of them.
Especially now with how much you love like Cyberpunk and stuff.
Yeah, I'm such a I'm a boomer shooter guy, tried and true. But I've also kind of like started to get into looter shooters. Like Brett said, I've been into Cyberpunk. I know I've talked about it on here plenty. Excuse me, plenty. But I really love that post-apocalyptic, literally like nuclear war setting, and all of like the set pieces and the set design and everything, all the practical effects all look really good. Even the CGI looks great, man. There's this one monster in one of the episodes called a Gulper, and it looks really, really scary. It looks real, dude.
Do they have death claws in the show? Did death claws show up?
I did not see any death claws. There's a little teaser. Well, spoiler alert, I guess. There's no death claws, but there's a little teaser.
You guys know how we do.
Yeah. We are a full-on spoiler podcast.
And no one can get mad because I put it in the description of every episode.
Yes, spoilers are here and plenty. But yeah, like Walton Goggins is the ghoul. Like he's so badass, like a undead Clint Eastwood. And then you get that fish out of water story with Ella Purnell's character Lucy coming out of the vault. But like I said, we have 3 protagonists essentially, and their stories kind of intertwine. And it's just also a testament to good like writing and screenplay because of how well they go together and coincide. And I feel like I've seen on Twitter and shit, fans of the games really love this series. But also people that have never... Dude, you know who likes Fallout TV series? My fucking dad.
Yeah?
Swear to God.
My dad watched it, and he
did
said, I don't know...
Well, I feel like it's more, like, reasonable for your dad to like it, because at least your dad knows what video games are. Like,
yeah.
My dad was like, I tell you what, I've been watching... I'm not going to imitate my dad on my podcast.
No, go ahead.
No, not doing it. He likes it, though. I'll
send it straight to him.
Yeah, he won't even know how to turn it on. But anyways, so your dad likes it too, huh?
I don't know.
Ooh.
He does this thing where
your dad's movie opinions are dead to me, by the way.
Yeah, you tell me that all the time.
Yeah, Mike, I know you're going to listen to this, and your opinions are dead to me.
What sparked that again? What was it that he said?
I don't know. It's just like
you just don't trust him.
He's such a love it or hate it, man.
He really is.
Like he's like throwing his hands up in the air, like yeah.
Well. He does this thing, especially with TV shows, where like I'll ask him if it's good, and his response is just, well, I got to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's kind of like the
So
Brett Prickett. It's fine.
Yeah, well, because now it's like, now he's just here out of obligation.
Yeah,
like he doesn't enjoy it or like not enjoy it.
Yeah.
But he's gonna finish it.
Yeah, it's like a train,
just so that he can complete the story.
It's like a train crash. I just can't look away. Like I have to keep watching it.
So I don't know how he felt about it in the end, but he did finish it.
Well, Brett, let me tell you, I think you will really like Fallout.
I know. It's just one of the... There's no reason I haven't watched it. I just haven't hopped on yet.
Well, there is a reason. Time and priorities. Just like why I haven't watched X-Men 97.
Not really. I've been spending like 5 hours a day 100%ing Lego Batman 3.
Okay, so you're admitting to not giving a shit about that shit. All right.
No, well, no. It doesn't cross my mind. How do you feel about all the people thirsting over Walton Goggins' ghoul? Have you seen that?
No.
People think he's hot. People want a piece of that burnt ass.
I mean, Walton Goggins like isn't a good looking dude anyway. Like kind of goofy, but like I said, he's got Riz. The Riz is insane.
He cranked the charisma stat all the way up. He used all of his caps on.
Yes, he is locked in.
Is that how Fallout works? Dude, I didn't play the games either. I'm sorry. I played a little bit of 4.
He's got a lot of XP, I guess. I don't know. He discovered all the vaults and looted all of them.
No, I don't know.
Is that how the game works?
That's not what they do.
Okay, I don't know. Anyways, he's cool. Watch the show. You guys, if you haven't seen Fallout, watch it. It's really good, man. I think it's going to be a staple for Amazon Prime moving forward.
Dude, Amazon just fucking kills it.
I know, man.
Like,
they have great series.
Yeah, like now granted, like Amazon doesn't like make them. They just like produce and like distribute them. But like they know how to pick them.
They know how to pick good ones.
They know what's gonna.
That's like some like place like Netflix. Like they're so hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like, some of Netflix's stuff is good, but other things that Netflix pumps out is just like trash.
Yeah,
man.
it's crazy. For every Orion in the Dark, there's a what's it called?
Orion in the Dark. Is that a show on Netflix?
It's a movie. It's pretty cute. It's a little animated movie about a kid overcoming his fear of the dark by like hanging out with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
It's got a really weird like tonal shift in the middle.
But it's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's cute.
Okay.
I actually don't know if it's a Netflix original, but I know that they like distributed it like exclusively. But I don't know if they like produced it like they do.
So yeah, check out Orion in the Dark.
Yeah.
I need to look at what we're going to go to next here.
Another show for me to talk about.
Go ahead,
because you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
we're just past the show. Our roads will never intertwine.
Are we like the worst podcast ever? Like two dudes get on here and talk about shit that neither of the other one has ever seen.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So one last TV show to talk about here. Knuckles. Knuckles recently premiered on Paramount Plus, and people seem to think it's the death of media.
Really?
Yeah, no, people are being really mean.
People don't like it.
No, and I have no idea why, because I thought it was really fun.
Paramount, like, I don't really know if Paramount has any good original shows.
No, not really.
Because, like, dude, I bought Paramount. I got a subscription to Paramount for that Halo series.
I use yours. That's how I watched it, because I'm on there.
Oh, really? Well, at least somebody's getting their money's worth out of it. Hey, thank God Blue's Clues was on there for a while for Tatum to watch, or else it would, like, my Paramount app would be collecting dust. That Halo series sucked. But anyways, Knuckles.
But no, Knuckles is really fun, and it doesn't even like really do anything that different than the two Sonic movies did that people like. So I don't really know. A lot of people's biggest complaint is that like there's too much. So the plot of the Knuckles show is that I don't know if you remember the goofy deputy character Wade from the first movie.
I think I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah. He's like Tom's buddy. Well, he needs to win a bowling tournament, and Knuckles mistakes this for him needing to become a warrior. So Knuckles takes him under his wing to train him to like overcome this great challenge.
Yeah,
that is this bowling tournament, and it's just fun. It's like they're just buddies. It's like a little.
That's what the whole series is about.
Yeah,
I like.
And then there's a side plot of like these bad guys that work for the government want to capture Knuckles and like steal his power.
That sounds like a pretty good show.
It is. It's a really fun time.
Does Knuckles bowl? Knuckles bowls?
Yes.
Does he?
Knuckles bowls. But it's fun and it's funny. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Dude, the guy that plays Wade, I apologize, I do not know his name. But he was a standout in both the movies, and then now he gets like even more time to shine, and he kills it every time. He's so funny.
Yeah.
And of course, Idris Elba as Knuckles is phenomenal. He's just as good as he was in Sonic 2.
I love Idris Elba.
Yeah, dude, shout out Idris.
Shout out
Idris Elba.
Shout out Idris Elba.
What a legend.
My guy Bloodsport. I'm gonna get
banger ass movie.
I'm gonna get a Bloodsport costume and cosplay as Bloodsport sometime.
If Idris Elba, I know he turned it down, but if Idris Elba did end up becoming 007, that would have been the first 007 movie I'd ever see. But yeah, watch Knuckles. Give it a chance. I don't know what people are talking about. They're crazy.
Okay, it's on my list. Knuckles. I'm gonna watch.
But there is obviously much more important Sonic movie universe news to discuss here.
Yes, the big news that you called.
Yes,
you've known about for years.
Yes, I was not the first to say it.
They follow you on Twitter, and they found out because of you. They're like, "I'll tell you what, it's a fucking good idea."
I went back to tweets from that time, and it was actually a very common thought that people echoed. I was one of the first people to tweet it because I tweeted it the day Sonic 2 premiered. I tweeted it immediately after leaving the theater.
Yeah.
So I was one of the first, but I was not the first to get the thought out there. But of course, we are talking about how at the end of Sonic 2, the post-credit scene for Sonic 2, they tease, of course, Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic's genetic clone and ultimate life form.
Oh, that's what he is, a genetic clone?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's
cool.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, he's Well, it's like, it's iffy.
Yeah.
But like, basically that's what he is. But when that was revealed, we knew we were getting Sonic Adventure 2 for the plot of Sonic 3, give or take. But then, of course, comes the question of casting, right? So when Sonic 1 came out, we got Ben Schwartz put into the role of Sonic. And he's great. I love Ben Schwartz's Sonic voice. I think everyone who's ever voiced Sonic, just like, they all get it in completely different ways, but they're all great. And it actually, Ben Schwartz's Sonic voice actually has taken over as like my main, like when I think of Sonic.
That's what you think
That's
of.
what I think of.
Yeah.
And then when they brought in Tails, they just kept the girl that does him already in the games.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they were like, I don't know if they like couldn't find anyone that they liked better or didn't try.
Yeah.
But she got to stay. they just pulled her over. And then of course Knuckles, we got Idris Elba. So then the question was, who we getting for Shadow? And the popular choice was one Keanu Reeves. And lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, they fucking got him.
Yeah.
Shadow the Hedgehog is officially being voiced by Keanu Reeves in Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's all. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Let me turn it up a little bit.
Applaud, people.
Oh, I turned it down.
Okay, the other way. Yes.
There it is. That's what we like to hear.
Honestly, man, like, it's crazy because after, like, John Wick 2, I remember talking to my cousin Jason and him being like, you know that right now we are living in the Keanu-sance.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Keanu renaissance of sorts. And the Keanu-sance has yet to pass. I mean, he's just still crushing
No,
it.
and he always has been.
Yes.
Even when Keanu does bad movies, he's still killing it. I watched a movie with him. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. What movie were you going to talk about?
Oh, I watched a movie with him called Knock Knock.
I've never seen it. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, just like these two like college girls, like
Movie is a total thirst trap.
yeah. Well, it's like so mean spirited because like he doesn't want to do anything with these girls, and
He still does. Though.
No, I know, but because they bully him into it. They break his spirit to its core until he just gives
that
up.
Movie?
Who?
Eli Roth. Oh, he's making the Borderlands movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and he also is the Bear Jew. We've talked about Eli Roth.
Yeah.
Before. He made Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Small world.
I'm an Eli Roth guy. I like Eli Roth.
But Knock Knock sucks. Don't watch it. But Keanu is the best part of it.
The one girl that's not Ana de Armas was Eli Roth's wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess they're divorced recently, but yeah, I've never seen Knock Knock. But Keanu is man, what is his character's name? He's in the 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, he's the
and you want to hear a bad fake accent.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst of all time. But Keanu Reeves is still
like how did he get that role with that accent? Like who?
He was just like an up and coming young good looking guy, you know what I mean?
Like who and even then like
why wouldn't you just go get a British person?
Either that or just like don't have him do it.
Yeah.
Just like have him
Just
talk
speak
normal.
American, yeah. Well, like the problem with him though is he does have an accent.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this super West Coast surfer bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's how he just naturally talks.
I'm going to need a gun.
He naturally sounds like he's constipated too.
I've said it a million times. I think on the show I've said this too.
You sounded a lot like him right there. Dude.
Thank
That
you.
was good.
Oh my goodness, thank you. I've said this on the show before, I think, and it's like it's not intended to be disrespect or like mean spirited in any way because I love this man. He is a treasure, and I want to see him in everything all the time. But if you like, he's like not that good of an actor.
You know,
I will say I genuinely believe his best role is Ted. Like I think he does his
Bill and Ted.
Yes, I think he does his best work as Ted.
Yeah.
Because I love those movies.
I've only ever seen the second one.
That's
I know,
weird.
right? I used to love it though. Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Yeah.
It's got I can't remember who the actor is that played.
I dressed up as Ted for Halloween one year.
Okay. Well, who was Bill?
My friend Jaskin.
Okay, cool. Good deal. I was about to say you can't go as just Ted.
Yeah, I was Ted on
That's
my
messed
own.
up.
I was Ted alone. Ted and Ted. Ted's Adventure.
You know, and just not to ramble forever about Keanu Reeves, but I've heard like just online you read stuff about different like actors and celebrities and shit, and like the dude's just like a genuinely good person,
and especially considering everything he's been through.
Yeah,
to still be like he's the best guy in Hollywood. He's humble.
Yeah,
he's
a
kind.
very humble individual. Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
My buddy Cutter is a big. I'm just like name dropping so many people on the podcast today.
Yeah.
He's like a
and
big.
here's their address.
Yeah. Anyways, he's a big motorcycle guy, and Keanu Reeves also owns his own motorcycle company, Arch Motorcycles, which you can drive on in Cyberpunk.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, so shout out Keanu Reeves. We love you.
We love you, Keanu Reeves, and I cannot wait. He's gonna crush it. He's gonna crush it. I will say, amidst the casting rumors for Shadow, there is only one person that I was convinced might be able to either do on par or a better job than Keanu Reeves, and Hayden Christensen's name was getting thrown around a lot. Like, to the point where he had to have been in talks at some point.
I tell you what, man, like, I want to say Hayden Christensen is a pretty on-par actor with Keanu Reeves.
No, I wouldn't even say that. Again, we love Hayden Christensen. Anakin Skywalker, my boy.
Yeah.
Again, Hayden Christensen's he's not that good.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm saying, like, even Keanu, like, outclasses Hayden Christensen for me.
Think?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's, I think he was handed a lot of shit to try and read and present in the prequel trilogy.
But then if you watch like any other thing he's in, it's like...
I've never seen any other movie with him, to tell you the truth.
Well, he doesn't do much.
Right. He was in that Jumper or whatever.
He did a movie called Little Italy.
Okay.
Where he like has the worst fake Italian accent. You want to hear the worst fake accent. Yeah. Again, like putting these two head to head.
Wow, man. That's funny.
Yeah, there's a really funny video a YouTuber named Drew Gooden did about it. It's a good video. I'll link it in the description.
Not to go too far into like Hayden Christensen, but just one last thing about the prequel trilogy. Like if you look at the other actors that were given shitty material and dialogue to deal with in those movies, like a seasoned guy like Ewan McGregor, still kind of crushed it.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee as Count Dooku was still good. These other guys like kind of just did. Of course, they weren't the main character of the entire fucking Star Wars franchise. Like, so
I will say Hayden Christensen did definitely redeem himself. The stuff he did in Obi-Wan and Ahsoka was really good.
Yes, it was.
I think that was great.
Very much so.
So he's still got it.
I want to say also. I think Hayden Christensen's a good-looking guy, and I was glad I made Alyssa watch the prequels, so at least she thought Darth Vader was kind of like she could put like wow, maybe there's a cute boy under there. I will think he's cool. Like,
but I think Hayden.
So shout out Hayden Christensen for being hot.
Shout out Hayden Christensen for being hot. But Keanu's gonna crush it. He's like he was born for this, but.
He was born for this.
I do, yes. When Keanu Reeves was born, it was foretold that he would take on the role of Shadow the Hedgehog.
Lisan al-Gaib.
But, like, Hayden Christensen, if he just did Anakin again, that's perfect. That would have been, like, that's just Shadow.
Yeah.
So
that, like, fake grizzly voice.
Yeah. So, like, what could have been? But they're all great. We love all of them. They are national treasures.
Yes. All of them. And all of the poor actors with bad accent abilities.
Hey, but for every we can say that, but like both of them have like roles where it's like just kidding. They locked in.
Yeah.
They had it in them the whole time. They just chose not to. 90% of acting comes down to the directing. I preach that all the time.
You're right.
I preach that all day, every day.
Like if you're not executing right, that director can break you down and show you what needs to be done.
Exactly.
So just to kind of pivot here a little bit, Mad Max, talk about Mad Max real quick.
Yes.
Okay, so I know we already talked about the Furiosa trailer. Furiosa comes out this month.
It does.
I'm really excited about it. Brett, he thinks it's fine, but I love Fury Road, and I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I would marry her. So I'm really pumped up about this movie. In the wake of all this, I guess studios think it's going to crush it because just the other day it was announced that George Miller is working on material for another Mad Max movie to come out starring Tom Hardy once again as Max Rokitansky. Yes,
what a sick name.
Insane name, dude. Them Australians got some wild names. To reprise the role though, so and it's supposed to take place before the events of Fury Road. So I'm pretty pumped up about that.
Yeah, no, we were even talking beforehand.
Yeah, like literally like a week ago.
Yeah, about how like disappointing it was that Tom Hardy got one movie as Mad Max when it was like, because Fury Road is great. For the record, in case anyone didn't catch on to the sarcasm, I don't think Furiosa looks just fine. I was making it when we went to see. I
unfairly drug you right there.
Did we say the name of the movie we were reviewing yet?
Yeah, I dropped it at the beginning.
Okay,
yes.
When we went to see Boy Kills World today, they played the Furiosa trailer, and just every time they play it, Hunter like blows a gasket over it. So I made a joke. I was like, it looks all right. But I am also a huge fan of Fury Road, and also a huge fan of Anya Taylor-Joy. I would also marry her.
Yes. High five. Yeah. We high fived because we would both marry Anya Taylor-Joy.
I tried to get the mic close enough to hear it. But I'm very excited for it, but I am more excited now that like I need Furiosa to succeed even more than ever now, so that we can get Tom Hardy back with his silly little accent in that silly little car.
I think some of the things that George Miller does with these movies is just it's kind of like what they do with the John Wick films. Like if you're making an action movie and you just know how to crush it with your stunt work and your action set pieces and shit, you can take a really simple storyline and make it great. Like Fury Road is so simple. Like there's not a lot to it, but man, a lot of people would say Fury Road is the best movie. I think it's the best movie in the whole franchise, and like probably one of the best action movies ever made. So anyways, pumped up about that. And Brett, before we get to our review, I believe you had just a little bit you wanted to talk about with Marvel's Ultimate line.
Yes, I've been on a huge comic book kick recently, because I'm kind of a poser. I was kind of a poser for a very long time.
You're not a poser anymore
in the comic book scene, because I didn't really read that many. I just didn't have access to a ton of them, and I feel like comics as a medium. Like so many people online are like, that's stupid. Just pick one you think looks cool and read. No, man. Yeah. I can't do that. I need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I need to know what happened. When I jump into a new game series, I buy every single game in the franchise and I play them in order.
Yeah.
Because I need to know start to finish how things have transpired.
How much did you like that Resident Evil 1 playthrough?
I didn't. I didn't.
Sorry, I just had to call you out on that.
I know.
Anyways.
But surprisingly, Resident Evil 5 is what stopped my streak.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Resident Evil 5 is a dark horse in the franchise.
No, man, it's clunky. I didn't like it.
That's tough, man. You're wrong.
Dude.
Good game. Good gameplay.
No. 4 was so much better.
Well, 4 is the best one. One of the best games ever.
That is true. Shout out Resident Evil 4.
Shout out Resident Evil 4. Okay, get locked back in.
But I'm locking back in. But I've been trying to change that. I've been trying to read more comics, read more storylines. I read the entire Hawkeye run that the show is based on when it came out. And then I have a bunch of stuff on the back burner that I'm going to get into eventually.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. I just recently finished all of Invincible. I read through all of Invincible. That was great.
Impressive.
It's only 144 issues. It's actually not that bad.
It's still cool to say you read everything of something.
Yeah. But what I really wanted to touch on is, for those who have been following comics, Marvel rebooted their Ultimate Universe. So in like the early mid 2000s, Marvel wanted to do like their own like punk edgy universe, and they called it the Ultimate Universe, and everyone was like mean and edgy, and it was like very 2000s.
Everybody looked like they watched The Matrix.
Yeah, that is true. And no one really liked it that much. The Ultimate Spider-Man was really the only one that like people enjoyed, and even then, like that run has so many issues that people like hate. The best thing the Ultimate Universe gave us was Miles Morales. That's like the only thing of note that the Ultimate Universe gave us. I didn't know he was
a product of that. That's cool.
Yes. Which now, of course, he's 616, but it's still like Ultimate Miles. He just got like transferred over or something. Comics are stupid. But they rebooted the Ultimate Universe. They erased the old one And then now it's a completely brand new Earth with brand new takes on these characters. There are 3 books out currently, which are Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men, with another book called The Ultimates coming out, which is a team of Ultimate Iron Man, a alternate universe version of Reed Richards, who is trapped in a Doctor Doom mask, and then a few other guys. But the point of it is, the books are great, and it's really nice to have just like a fresh blank slate. Like, I am now at the forefront of this new universe, and I plan on following it until I was thinking about it the other night, not to get like weird and deep about stupid fucking brand new comic books, but it's like I might live to see when like these comics start getting movies.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of neat, because then I could be like how my dad is.
How your dad is.
Yeah. When they adapt new stuff, he's like, "Oh,
that's awesome, man."
It's like, that's not how it was in the comics. It's like, and then I will be like, "That's not what they did in the Ultimate Universe."
Yeah.
So it's just kind of neat, and they're really good books. You should check them out, especially Ultimate Spider-Man. No bias there, of course.
Yeah. We won't bring up why Brett wants me to specifically read that issue, that first issue of that. So, with that said, I will. I'll get on it. I'll check one of them out.
You have to, man. It's really good.
As soon as I can. You know what else we should do as soon as we can?
Review this fucking movie.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Let's get into it. So, Boy Kills World. This is a movie me and Brett were super pumped up about.
Yeah, very excited. We talked about it many a time on the show, on the lead up to release.
We have brought this up several times since the first trailer. We've been champions of the king that is Bill Skarsgård.
Shout out Bill Skarsgård.
For years now. And he's a great actor. I think he's I don't think he's quite like A-tier Hollywood like lead man, but he's getting there.
He's getting there.
He's almost there. He's got a lot of range, and he's got, which we'll elaborate on here momentarily, great physique. And he's just generally a good actor.
I appreciate his dedication to playing like weird little freaks.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I will say like about this movie that I find extremely positive is it is a low budget movie and a very like niche movie, and I think it does a great job of just making itself almost knowing what it is. Well, I take that back, because there's a point in the movie where it doesn't know what it wants to be. But with that said, like a big name like Bill Skarsgård as the lead in this little movie is great. So anyways, the plot for Boy Kills World is, as such, a fever dream action film that follows Boy, a deaf person with a vibrant imagination. When his family is murdered, he is trained by a mysterious shaman to repress his childish imagination and become an instrument of death. Which he does say to himself multiple times in the movie.
That's his maximum effort.
Yes,
it's like, you are an instrument.
It's his own personal catchphrase. This movie is directed by Moritz Mohr. I don't really know anything else that he's directed. I was going to say,
what else?
I will look it up here for a minute. It also stars, aside from Bill Skarsgård, Jessica Roth, Famke Jensen, Sharlto Copley, Andrew Koji, and there's a couple other pretty decently sized names in this movie. Moritz Mohr has not directed anything else very big at all. I think this is his first big budget film, debut.
Well, you know what? For first foray,
that doesn't make sense. Debut. Well, you knew what I meant.
This is the first of his first film.
Yes, this is the first film for him. This movie was budgeted. I couldn't find a really good, reliable, distinct budget for this. One thing said 18 million, another one said 25 million. So like we said earlier, low budget. So far, it's only grossed 2.2 million worldwide. It's been in theaters for about a week, so it might not make its budget back. And then the soundtrack was done by Ludwig Forsell. This movie, well, I already said the plot, so I guess we can dive right into it. Brett, what do you think of Boy Kills World?
Just like in general? Or?
Well, I mean, you can talk about the plot. That's what I got written down first.
I was really, really into it.
Yeah.
Like, it drags you in pretty early on with like what it's about. I I was really like surprised with how like quick the pacing is straight off the bat.
Yes.
Like
I like that about it.
Yeah, literally like the entire plot of the movie is explained in like 3 sentences by the Bob's Burgers. Can you tell me his name? I feel so bad.
Maybe I should have brought that up when talking about the cast.
Did you not say his name in the cast?
What are you? It's not one of like the top billed names.
He's not top billed? That's crazy.
It is.
I just feel so bad calling him that all the time.
H. John Benjamin.
That's a sick ass name. H. John Benjamin?
Sounds like a politician.
No, maybe like an 1800s politician.
Yeah.
And, yeah, well they were the cool ones. They rapped.
They rapped.
They did hip hop dances.
Yeah, sure.
Or so I'm told.
Anyways,
H. John Benjamin.
Yes.
He does the entire plot in like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
He's like, this is what happened to my family. I'm gonna kill this bitch. Let's run it.
Yeah.
and then he just starts going.
So he is Boy's inner monologue that narrates the film because, as I said before, he's deaf and mute. And it makes for a lot of like really funny shit. I mean, to be honest, and it's a cool idea that I've never really seen anywhere else.
Really unique.
Yes, for sure,
and very well executed for the most part.
And something else I was gonna say that like I brought up multiple times on this podcast. One of the most tried and true good movie formulas in Hollywood history is a good revenge movie, and this is it. You know, as far as the setting and set design. What do you have to say on that?
I think it's cool. I like this. We were talking about it in the car. I think it has just enough of that world building,
right? Yeah.
In its setting and it's like how this world operates. It gives you exactly what is necessary. And if you want to dig deeper into that, they give you the pieces to like think about it a little bit. But if not, you're never confused. And on the visual aspect of it, it's. I don't want to say generic. I think like at this point it's becoming a little generic.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's your dystopian,
one thing I was going to say
city.
One thing I was going to say that lends a little bit of help with the budget being low is the fact that it's presented in a future that is, not post-apocalyptic, but borderline.
Yeah, things are pretty normal actually in the Boy Kills World universe.
Yeah, they're not anything real crazy. You can tell it is in like a future that is kind of fucked up and shitty. But nothing super creative. Like it's not anything like Blade Runner or anything crazy like that. Which, as I said already multiple times, it's a low budget movie.
Like honestly, I can't even really think of any like super standout settings outside of the mansion, which just looked like a normal mansion. Yeah, like there wasn't anything like.
I really liked the soundtrack the whole time they were in the mansion.
Yes, dude, the entire mansion section of the movie is the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you on that. And this movie kind of bounces between the totalitarian city metroplex area, the bordering woods, which is where he is raised and trained by the shaman. The mansion that Brett already talked about that is owned by the rich Vanderkoy family, and then also a movie studio, and then it ends in a bunker.
Yeah,
like the rich family like stays in
the grayest bunker you've ever seen.
A lot of gray in that third act.
There's no discernible features of that bunker.
Yeah. As far as characters go, I think Bill, like I already said, Bill Skarsgård kills it in the lead role here. I think he brings it not only in the acting, like I think he does a great job portraying somebody that's deaf and mute and having that comic timing. And I also think like he just like dude is an absolute unit. Like dude, like he's like 6'4", like 6'3", 6'4", and just like I don't know what he weighs, but he's shredded, dude. Like built like a superhero. And you can tell he did a lot of like training and work for this movie. I know you have different opinion, but I think a lot of like the martial arts sequences, he really shows off like his skills and abilities. And then there's also the Vanderkoy family, which is made up of the main character and pretty much the main antagonist, I guess you would say, Hilda. Is that her name? Hilda?
I think it was Hilda.
Hilda Vanderkoy. And then her 2 sisters and her brother, Gideon.
And then her brother-in-law.
Yes, which is played by Charlton Copley. I thought they were all kind of quirky in their own way and kind of cool, kind of funny. My favorite of all of them, like shocker, was June 27 Vanderkoy. Yes, that's her name. I don't know why that's her name.
Her name's June 27.
Yes, it's literally on the IMDb.
And that
page.
was like the news lady one. The like
No,
she ran
that was the one with the cool helmet. Her name was June.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. So she's like the one member of the family that actually knows how to defend herself without like a gun.
Yeah, she's like part of their like guard.
Right. Yes. She's like the lead security or whatever. And so she like has this like black and yellow jumpsuit on, and she wears this motorcycle helmet, but across the like glass on the front of the motorcycle helmet, it's like almost like Daft Punk to, like it's got different things for what she wants to happen, and it says things on it like it'll say, you know, like fuck you, or like run, no, and like it's really cool. Every time she like shoots her gun, it like I don't know if you
the
noticed
visor
that.
would flash yellow.
Yeah. It was really, really cool. One of the coolest things that I saw in this whole movie. And other than that, the shaman. I've seen this actor before in a couple different movies. I was telling Brett that he's in the movie The Raid, which is just like one of the most insane action martial arts movies of all time. And every movie I've seen him in, though, like that's pretty much like he doesn't talk a whole lot.
No.
And because The Raid, I believe, is an Indonesian film, and he is from either Thailand or Indonesia, somewhere in that area. So he doesn't speak English. But I thought at the end of the movie, whenever it showed him fight, like you could tell he's a seasoned martial artist. I don't really have any complaints about the characters in general. Oh, I'm forgetting about the best fucking character in the whole movie.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Andrew Koji portrays this prisoner that Boy releases, and he ends up teaming up with. His name's Basho.
Yep.
Like Bash.
And then
but with an O. And I don't even know if like they actually wrote any lines for Andrew Koji. He just like yelled and acted like a dumb idiot the whole time.
They just brought him on set and they're like, dude, just
be
go.
Crazy.
Just go.
Be crazy, yeah. You know, I was thinking he kind of looks a little bit like a younger Joe Taslim. And like, we need to get Andrew Koji in like a Mortal Kombat movie or something. Like, or like I was telling Brett, they just need to make a Storm Shadow movie just with him and forget about Snake Eyes. For those that don't know, he played as Storm Shadow in that shitty Snake Eyes movie that came out like 4 years ago. But all right, I rambled forever about all the characters. What do you think about them?
No, I again, the characters are what saved this movie a lot for me. After we'll get into negatives in a minute, but the characters are like the strongest suit, performance wise. Across the board, phenomenal. Yeah. Especially Andrew Koji as Basher. Like, dude steals every scene he's in. And it's crazy because, like, he even has some, like, emotional moments that he sells, like, perfectly on top of the, like, over-the-top, like, funny stuff. Because I consider it a comedy.
Yeah.
I think it's a funny movie.
For sure.
But he's, like, most of that comedy comes from him and his antics. But like even when he tones that back down and like lets a little more like normalcy, like human emotions come through, like he kills it.
Yeah. Like
Basho is the best character in this movie. He's the best performed character in this movie, I think, outside of Bill Skarsgård as Boy. Which, you know, on that note, anytime I get a chance to preach and praise about the ability to act without the use of speaking. Of course, the biggest example of that being what Robert Pattinson does in the Batman with just his eyes.
Yeah.
Bill Skarsgård's body language in this is fantastic, and the way it lines up with what
Hunter,
tell me his name. I'm not gonna call him that again.
John Benjamin.
Yes, the way that Bill Skarsgård's body language lines up with the lines that H. John Benjamin is saying over top of it, like, obviously I know that that's not Bill Skarsgård's voice, but like I believe that that's what he sounded like. Like it lined up really well.
You're totally right. There's a couple times where he's kind of like shrugging and like, well, I guess, or like something like that.
Yeah, it's really neat. Mm-hmm. Also, the inner voice as a character, because maybe we can consider him his own character. I like the lore that they gave it. I like that they gave it an in-universe reason for existing. It wasn't necessary. It could have just been what Boy sounds like in his head, but they have this little like mini backstory for it where it's It's actually the announcer voice of the arcade game he would play with his sister when they were younger.
Right.
Yeah, I just thought that was a nice touch. I don't know if it makes a ton of sense, but it's neat. I will say though, when he like does the like video game lines, I think it was a weird plot point to include when he doesn't sound that good as the announcer.
Yeah,
like
he sounds like an announcer, but not a video game.
No,
announcer.
it's very flat. It's too flat for like the style of announcer they were going for.
Right.
So that's just a nitpick, but that was just something I noticed with it. And then with June's character, I thought it was so funny when you pointed out it was the Happy Death Day girl before she took her mask off, because I didn't think she was gonna get demasked.
I didn't either.
And then because if you hadn't told me that before she got demasked, when it happened, I would have been like, holy shit, that's the girl from Happy Death Day, which is a great movie, by the way.
I wish I hadn't done that, and then you could have just told me that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have recognized her.
No, oh no, I would have noticed right away, because I really like Happy Death Day.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
That's a fun one. Mm-hmm. And she's great. She's great in Happy Death Day. She doesn't get a ton to do in this one because she doesn't talk that much.
Yeah,
she lets her helmet and then her action scenes do most of it. Honestly, I'm wondering, if it was sort of like a Mandalorian thing. Like, I'm wondering how often she was actually on set.
Yeah, I doubt it was probably actually her through all the fight sequences. Mm-hmm. If it was, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, that'd be sick.
But I don't think that was her.
But what is there? She does fine. And then I do love the Vander Koy family members and all their different personalities. That one guy you keep bringing up, who's the brother-in-law, he was pretty fun.
Charlton Copley,
but I
as Glenn.
Yeah, but I really, really loved Gideon.
Yeah,
I thought he was great. I thought what he was doing was great. I thought his character was really interesting.
Yes,
his place in the story was really neat to me.
That's kind of what I really liked about the Vander Koy family too. Was Hilda, the mom, is the only straight up malevolent one.
Yeah,
the only one that wants to continue the culling, and the only one that's crazy. Mm-hmm. The rest of them are all kind of we need to stop this.
Speaking of her, Miss Jean Grey herself.
Yeah, Famke Janssen.
I think she's the weakest performance in the movie. I did not like her at all.
Yeah, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but in the third act, whenever she kind of gets a little bit more lines and stuff, I agree. I think she was kind of didn't. Yeah, it just wasn't it.
I'm not sure what was up with her,
but the rest of the Vander Koy family was great.
Yes, really and then the news showrunner woman, she was really she was just fun.
She's super bitchy.
She I did not like her.
Yes.
So she did her job well.
The guy that plays as Gideon, his name is Brett Gallman. And wait, you know him? Yeah, it's Brett. Okay, yeah. But
well, of course I know him.
Yeah.
He's me.
Yeah, that's Ben. Anyways, he is in Stranger Things.
Oh yeah.
He plays as a crazy Cold War conspiracy theorist, and his character is really funny in Stranger Things.
He looks a lot like the face model for Jack Baker in Resident Evil 7.
Wow.
That's something I couldn't get out of my mind. I was like, man, he looks a lot like Jack.
I'd have been getting scared if I'd have thought of that, watching that movie.
Dude, I've played through that game so many times. It's not even the only one that scares me anymore is Marguerite.
She's nasty.
Fuck that level, man.
She's gross.
God.
Yeah, she might be one of the scariest.
Stupid fucking bug house.
She's not the scariest Resident Evil monster villain sequence thing, but she's up there.
I would argue that Marguerite's scarier than the baby was.
I don't know, man.
Dude,
the whole build up to House Beneviento.
Experiencing the baby for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Nothing after that. I didn't give a shit about that thing. It's so easy to avoid.
I didn't really think the baby itself was scary. Like I said, the build up, walking in the house, and then when you get in the lower levels and you have to dissect that doll.
Yeah.
That shit is creepy as fuck, man. And damn, that whoever wrote that whole sequence for that game, they need a bonus. They need a raise. Anyways, back to The Boy Kills World.
Yeah. What are we talking about again?
We were talking about how this movie was written in the screenplay. I feel like opinions will start to drop here.
Yeah, here we go.
You want to take it from here, Brett?
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Take the lead.
So, Act 1, pretty simple. It's your setup, whatever. Act 2 is fantastic. Mm-hmm. We are infiltrating this mansion where the Vanderkoy family is supposedly hosting this big get together for all the family members, and we're infiltrating it. There's a very funny sequence before that where there's a running gag throughout the entire movie. There's this character introduced named, is his name Benny?
Benny, yes, yeah. Benny.
And he is Basho's fellow resistance member, but he's got this big...
They're the only two resistance members.
They're the only two members. There is the alludence to a third that has been lost.
Yes.
And that's one of those emotional moments for Basho where he's really shining through. But the character of Benny... so everything we hear in the movie, which I thought this was actually a really neat touch, which I'm glad that I'm getting a chance to touch on it because I would have forgotten otherwise. Everything we hear throughout the movie, any audio or someone talking, is Boy reading their lips. And so if Boy cannot read their lips, we either cannot hear them or what they are saying is nonsense.
Yeah.
And Benny has this big, huge beard, and for whatever reason, which I will say, kind of a plot hole, why is Gideon completely legible throughout the entire movie, but Benny's not?
His beard and mustache is nowhere near as tough as Benny's.
I guess not. I guess Benny was pretty tough. He was sick.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Benny.
Yeah, R.I.P. Benny.
And Basho. Spoilers.
Yeah, pour one out for the homies.
But there's this bit where when Benny talks, it's just nonsense. He's like, Dingleberry fart knots.
Yeah.
And then we get a really funny visual of
whatever he
of
says.
what Boy, of the literal translation of what Benny is supposedly saying. But so they explain this big, huge plan to him, and Benny's doing most of the talking. Boy has no idea what the actual plan is, and then we go to this mansion, and he has to dress up as a chef and just do reconnaissance. But then he's like, "Fuck this! I'm doing what I came here to do," and we get this gnarly, way too short fight in the kitchen. It should have been longer. Because there's a lot of long ass fight scenes in this movie.
You're big into kitchen fight sequences, huh?
I'm a big fan of kitchen fight scenes. It's just not something that's done very often, and there are so many opportunities to kill people in creative ways in a kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't know. Maybe someone should write something like that or something.
Perhaps.
Anyway. He chooses a cheese grater as his weapon of choice, and it's nasty.
Yeah, he's ripping, shredding people's cheeks and hands and shit.
And it's fucking sick. And then more shenanigans ensue in the mansion. It's all fun. Then we get to the third act of the movie, and the third act starts out strong. I really enjoyed. This movie's 90% fight scenes, by the way. It's one right after the other, which is fine. It's an action movie.
Yeah.
Give me as much cool choreography as you can. But Act 3 starts out pretty strong with the culling, which is set up to be so I guess in the past it was a town square type execution, but now it has since upgraded to a televised event where serial mascots just brutally murder innocent people.
And when he says cereal mascots, he means breakfast cereal.
Yeah. So there's this cereal in the Boy Kills World universe called, what's it called? Fruity Puffs or something?
Frosty Puffs.
And the mascots for this cereal brand are they sponsor the culling, and so they carry out the mass murder. And that whole sequence is great.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's...
I thought it was super weird, creepy, fever dreamy.
Yes. Very, that's probably the most dystopian the movie gets, really, is with the culling.
Yeah.
And we also get some of Basho's best moments where he shows up in this fucking goat costume and just starts wrecking people.
Yeah, he's got a mallet. A giant hammer.
And then we also get one of the coolest weapons I've ever seen in fiction, which is the gun brass knuckles.
Yeah. The punch gun.
That they use 3 times and then get rid of.
Yeah, it had 20 seconds of screen time.
Now it's 3 really fucking cool times. They were pretty creative with it. But I would have liked to see more of the gun hand. That was sick as fuck.
Yeah.
But then after the culling, shit just falls apart immediately.
I guess we'll just go ahead and roll into right there. Because we've been talking about writing a screenplay, but this also goes with the direction and production.
Mm-hmm.
So, the third act. We'll get to that third act. It sucks.
It's I have never I don't think I've experienced a drop off so hard in like my enjoyment of a movie so immediately.
It was a big letdown, man.
It really was. So what happens is after the culling is they don't prevent the culling, by the way.
It still happens.
Everyone gets culled but Boy.
Yeah.
Boy is the only one that doesn't get culled. I wish they would have saved a few more of the innocent people.
Yeah. This movie isn't afraid to let innocent people die.
No, no. Well, that's kind of like what their whole society is based off of, honestly.
Right.
But then, we've prevented, in quotes, the culling. Now we got to do what we came for. I'm going to kill Hilda Vanderkoy. And so he goes... He has this like really weird like mini like evil arc where he's like he doesn't like so the whole movie sorry, we didn't mention it. The whole movie he has a secondary sidekick character in the form of his cognitive ghost sister. And the whole movie she's like fine with everything. But then like right at this point in the beginning of the third act, she suddenly isn't cool with murder.
Yeah, even though he's literally been murdering for the last hour and a half.
The whole time. Which I will say, now that I'm thinking about it, he does, for most of the murder, send her somewhere else. So, like, for the first scene, he locks her in a cage. For the mansion one, he, like, puts her, like, sends her to go get more macaroons or whatever. But still, suddenly, she's just now informing him she's not cool with the murder, and he's just now informing her that he doesn't give a fuck and he hates her. Just like, which I feel like, I don't know, I maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but like it was just kind of out of nowhere. He's just like, actually, I'm gonna do it anyway, because what sparks this is like Gideon has been defeated. Gideon has denounced the family. He's been helping Boy since he like got his hands on him. He's like, here, take this. Go kill her, whatever. My sister shot me in the back. I'm just going to lay here and die.
Yeah.
And Boy's like, I'm going to add insult to injury, and I'm going to fucking stab you anyway.
He chopped his head off.
Yes.
Go ahead and give you a quick decapitation.
So Boy's no nonsense now. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He's just a dick now. And so he goes down to finally put a stop to Hilda, and then we get the movie's big twist. We get an M. Night Shyamalan level twist, where the whole time, Boy has been conditioned by the shaman to believe that Hilda Vanderkoy killed his family, his mother and his sister. But that's not true.
Yeah.
Because Hilda Vanderkoy is his mom. And the Daft Punk lady, June 27th, is his sister.
Yeah.
And so what actually happened was that the people that were killed were the shaman's family, and Boy is the one that did it. And so instead of just killing Boy for revenge, he decides to go through a several decade-long gaslighting process
That's such a good way to describe it.
to make him believe that Hilda Vanderkoy killed his family, Boy's family, to make him want to go get revenge on her.
Yeah.
And all of this is told to you through Bill Skarsgård silently staring into the camera with the blankest expression you've ever seen, while like fucking slideshow pictures play, spelling out these events that are also being told to you verbally.
Yeah,
It's a pacing killer.
Yes.
It's a stupid plot point. It doesn't make any sense.
As soon as the culling was over, we get like a 20-30 minute drag.
Yeah, man.
And it really sucks. And then it's just such a terrible twist.
Yeah, like
I kind of saw it coming, and that makes
Hunter
it even
did
worse.
Immediately call that that June was going to be Boy's sister.
Yeah, and like it's just like in a world where like that kind of shit always happens in movies. And like I said, I called it, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It definitely didn't work in this movie.
Yeah, it's too outlandish.
This
to
third
a point
act,
where it's just like, okay.
And then this third act tries to be way more emotional than it has any business being, because we get him reuniting with his sister, and they all just turn on everybody then. It's like, well, it's just me and you versus everyone, which is kind of cool, but at the same time, like, he literally just reunited with her. Like, how is she going to just all of a sudden drop all of her opinions and loyalties from the past like 20 years?
And Boy doesn't even get to kill Hilda, by the way. The sister does it, despite being under her rule for this long and going along with all of it.
Yeah, it makes zero sense. It's a pretty mind-boggling plot idea. I don't know why they made that decision.
Yeah, it's very strange. Also, in this third act, you can kind of tell that they have ran out of their already relatively low budget because, like I said, this entire huge like turning point plot twist of the movie is just like slideshow flashbacks and static footage of Bill Skarsgård's face. And then also, there's this huge, like, it's supposed to be like a 1v like 75 of like Bill Skarsgård boy going on a rampage to like finally get to Hilda.
And it just shows his face the whole time.
And it's just like weird snorri cam footage. Snorri cam is that shot, like camera attached to your chest pointed directly at your face.
Yeah.
It's like 5 minutes straight of just snorri cam footage with a red filter over it. It looks like shit.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have the budget to do that fight, like, and maybe it's like a stylistic thing, but it just didn't play for me.
It would have been so much better if they'd have shortened up all the dumbass emotional shit and just went ahead and gave us that fight sequence on top of the other ones we already had.
But then they do another like actual like 1v like, well, it's a 2v like bunch of people in like the same hallway, yeah. In like the same stretch of hallway. So it's just like, I don't know what the snorri cam stuff was for. It it didn't play for me.
And then the big boss turns out being them two versus the shaman, which I think that was a pretty cool fight sequence. But at that point, it's just so convoluted with what, like, who the bad guy is, who isn't.
Yeah, it's like, what are we doing?
It didn't need to be that way.
Yeah.
And then really, that's my biggest gripe with this movie, in my opinion, is that third act. It brings it down a lot, though.
It really does.
Because the first 2/3 of the movie, I really loved it, and I thought it was gonna be one of those quick, like, I thought this movie was gonna be fast.
Yeah, I was expecting like a 90-minute romp.
Me too.
And how long did it end up being? What's the official run time?
I don't know, but too long. Way longer than it had any business actually being. And like, I know that you said like the second act was the best part of the movie. But I think even the first act was great too. This movie was an hour and 51 minutes, like
almost 2 hours,
just too long. Like, what happened to like a nice, like you said, like 90-minute rock'em sock'em?
Yeah.
You know? Is there? I know that you probably had a couple other negatives you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, just real fast. One more thing. One last thing to touch on about the third act before we let him get up. The biggest selling point and most unique factor of the movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! Why can I not keep his name in my head?
H. John Benjamin.
Yes, thank you. Holy shit, I feel awful. H. John Benjamin as the inner voice.
I doubt he listens to this. So
no, I
okay.
know, but like, still, it's a respect thing. Not that being in Bob's Burgers is disrespectful, but like, you know, we address everyone else by name, and then I've only ever called them Bob's Burgers guys. H. John Benjamin as the inner voice, he just dips the fuck out for this third act. Like I said, when I said the whole big like emotional plot twist thing is just Bill Skarsgård silently and blankly, like, I don't know what expression he's trying to convey there.
Yeah,
like, I don't know what was going on with that. Inner voice is gone. He's been gone for like 30 minutes now. And
like you said, that was like one of the best things this movie presented.
And he just like pops up for quips. Like, he'll just pop up in the middle of a fight scene and go, shit.
Yeah.
It's like, where have you been? And then he's gone again. It's like, wait, no, come back, man. We liked you. You were cool. So that was I just don't know what happened. It feels like they just started making a completely different movie at the very end for no reason. And then this is a personal negative that Hunter does not echo. He did not notice this as much, or it doesn't weigh on him as much. And it's not something like this didn't like bring it down any number scores. It's just like a slight nitpick. And mostly it's just for that like first warehouse fight scene, like our first big fight scene that we get with Boy in this warehouse. It's just like, it just looks wonky. I literally just wrote wonky visuals for some action scenes. There are way too many quick cuts. And again, this is something that's not in the second act. All the fight scenes in the second act in that mansion are like very like what you would expect. Like, there's a little flair, but like it's not overdone. And how I thought about wording it in the car ride home, I was like, like some of the fights, and this is going to sound stupid when I say it out loud, but it's like, I think some of the fights had too much style, right?
Yeah.
They like cranked it too far. Like they were trying way too hard to give it style to the point where it's just like not realistic. Fun to watch. Like just way too many quick cuts. Like I couldn't really tell half of the shit that was happening in the first warehouse fight. Like I did not know what he was even doing to half of the people.
See, I'm now just to give a little bit of rebuttal because, like you said, I don't share this sentiment.
Yeah.
This movie is produced by Sam Raimi, and I think you can see some of Sam Raimi's signature style in some of these fight sequences, which just makes them that much cooler. I think he uses a lot of like swing cam where it flies all the way around the fight sequence, and then also he does a lot of that like crazy like zoom in, zoom out. And that you are right. That first fight sequence, I feel like, has some like too many cuts, and maybe they did shoot that one first, and then they reined it in the rest of the movie. Because I think the rest of the fight sequences are really good. But even with the warehouse fight sequence, I thought it was pretty good too.
Yeah, I just wasn't a fan of the first warehouse fight sequence.
I had no qualms with any of the fight sequences.
The rest of them were fine. My other big problem with the action visuals is, again, something that you said you didn't really notice, but that really bugged me. Is that like pretty much any time a physical attack like connects, everyone on screen like just turns into like a very like, for me, like very noticeable like bad CGI model of themselves. Everyone is very bendy. It looks like they're made of rubber sometimes when they're doing some of this shit. And it was just it just really took me out of a lot of it. And what I would compare it to is because like I mentioned to you in the car, someone said to me that it gave them Scott Pilgrim vibes.
Yeah.
And a lot of the fight scenes visually do look like the fight scenes from Scott Pilgrim, which Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite movies of all time. That is a constant top 5 film for me. I think that is one of the best movies ever made. And I will say, I think some of the fight sequences in Scott Pilgrim look like shit for the same reason that I think they look bad in this movie.
Yeah.
So it is a consistent critique from me, right? Like, because they both have that sort of same style, and it's not that it falls flat the whole time. There are some sequences, like I said, like the stuff in the mansion, and then most of the stuff with the guards in the bunker looked fine. But that first warehouse fight scene and then the shaman fight scene, I think looked really bad at some points, and it really dragged me out of it.
I don't really have any other negatives to touch on. I would say that I'm ready to give it my final rating.
Yeah, me too.
Basically, I thought this was, on par with most of like the flashy action movies coming out nowadays. Want to be like really cool, over the top, and I think it achieves that goal. I do think it falters in that third act majorly. It's still a pretty creative movie. Still a lot of things to like about it. I would probably suggest to somebody to check it out if they like these kind of goofy movies. Funny. It's a funny movie. But it's not one that I know that I'll revisit anytime soon.
I can't. And if I were, I would be skipping through things, or it would be
I'm
like
YouTubing a
I
fight
put
sequence.
it on in the or like I put it on in the background while I do something a little more important.
Right. With all that said, I think I'm going to give this probably a 6.5 out of 10.
That's fair. That's a very fair score.
Yeah.
I think my biggest takeaway from it is just disappointment. I was just very disappointed
too, yes.
by the final product that this movie ended up being, especially when it started so strong, right? And people say in media and literature and art, like the two most important parts of your story are the beginning and the end.
Yes.
If you have a strong beginning and a strong end, you can get away with a lot of shit in the middle. But if you falter in either of those 2 points, it kind of falls apart. And I think this ending fell apart majorly. When putting it up against other, snappy action comedies, R-rated action comedies, a big one we brought up to each other was Bullet Train.
Yeah.
And I will watch Bullet Train 1,000 times over before I watch this one again.
Yeah.
Or before I watch this one all the way through again. So with that being said, I made a face at you, so you already know. I also gave it a 6.5.
Oh, really? No way.
I gave it a 6.5. Because again, it's not bad, and I would recommend someone, because maybe art is subjective. Everyone likes different things.
Right.
Maybe someone, saw it and was like, dude, that ending, that fucking got me, bro. That twist was crazy. That was sick.
That person is an idiot. If they say that.
Well, I that's neither here nor there. But
right.
For me, it was too much of a drop off to give it any higher than a 6.5. But everyone involved did a great job, and we like to rate the drip around here. Boys Fit went hard.
I don't like the capris.
I liked them. I liked them. I really dug it.
I thought he looked cooler with some pants on, but I thought his vest.
He steals this red vest from a dead guy and he wears it the whole movie, and it looks. He got that shit on for real. It's
like a reflective, like almost like high vis red vest, and then the interior is like a aluminum foil material. I don't know. It looks badass.
And then
I dig it.
And then of course June 27th's helmet.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Put that shit on the market. You want to make your budget back?
Yeah,
sell that fucking helmet.
Yeah, dude. You'll have all of my salary.
But that is Boy Kills World.
Yep, there it is. The review.
It's very sad when something you were really excited for doesn't meet the mark. But that's also a lot of the time that's on you, right? Because the movie didn't promise to be not what it was.
Or it's just good marketing.
Built it up. Yeah. Hey man, the trailers did their job.
They got our butts.
Our butts in those seats, and honestly, they make that ticket money whether we like the movie or not.
Right.
So.
Nah, man, it was fun. It was a fun one to visit. Regardless, hopefully we get a lot of people to check this out because it's still a pretty relevant movie. Who's picking out next week? Next time we review, is it going to be you or me? I think it's you. I think you need to. Brett's been like sitting on top of this rant podcast.
You gotta let me get it out of my system. I promise we can get a full episode out of it. Just let me cook, bro.
Maybe we'll knock that one out next. Man.
Let me cook.
Anyways, you want to wrap it up with the socials and get us out of here?
I will wrap it up with the socials and I will get us out of here. Guys, if you want to follow us on social media, you are so free to do so. On both Twitter and Instagram, the handle is Real Rendezvous, all one word, spelled as it always has been. If you're watching on YouTube, it is spelled as it is shown on the screen. If you're not watching on YouTube, head on over there because it's fun. We've been getting a lot more people like commenting, and let me we love that shit.
Yes,
we love the comments. Please comment. Like, tell us what you think of the movie. Tell us.
We both try to get on there and interact anytime a commenter comes on there.
Yeah, so it's a really fun time. We really appreciate that. And that's it. I didn't have another thought. That was done.
All right. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you next time.
Later. Love you.